Hey mountain friends, how's everybody doing? Hope y'all are doing well on this fine day. It's a beautiful day here in Kentucky, and it's a good day to make a pie, and it's a good day to make a butterscotch pie, an old-timey homemade butterscotch pie. I remember my mama making this pie, my aunts making this pie, and I always loved butterscotch pie. Now, I'm calling this a butterscotch cream pie because I'm not going to put meringue on it. I don't like meringue. I'm not a meringue fan. So I'm going to top mine with some homemade whipped cream, and it's still just as good, y'all. But like I said, I don't care for meringue. But if you want to put some meringue on this, you go right ahead. But I'm just going to make it without it. So I'm calling this my butterscotch cream pie. But it's still a homemade butterscotch pie that I'm making with, it's made with flour and butter and brown sugar. I'll get it out in a minute. And it's really good. So I'm just going to tell you ahead of time what's in it. Then we're going to get started on making it, okay? So this is what you're going to need. Now, I use I baked my pie crust ahead of time in a 9-inch pie pan. So you're going to need you can buy a store-bought pre-baked one. Just make sure it's baked ahead of time. So use whatever you want. If you want to do a from scratch one, you can. I will be making a video later of a from scratch pie crust, but today I'm just short on time, so I did a pre-baked one, okay? And to me, I don't think it matters. It just makes no never mind to me. I think it tastes just as good as long as you get, a good kind. And so just going ahead and tell you that right off the bat that I'm using a pre-baked pie crust, okay? And it's a 9-inch. So for the filling, what you're going to need 3 egg yolks, 1.5 cups of packed brown sugar, a 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 1/4 cups of milk, whole milk, 2 tablespoons of butter, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm using about a 1/2 teaspoon of maple flavoring as well. And I'll be explaining that in the video why I like maple flavoring in this pie. And if you want, you can put meringue on it. But that's all the filling is. It's really easy. And I can't wait to make it for y'all. So it's one of my favorites. So let's get started. All right, y'all. Let's make a pie. So you're going to start out, you're going to put your brown sugar in your saucepan and your flour. And then you're going to start to gradually add in your milk. I'm going to turn my heat on. And start gradually pouring in your milk. Y'all, this is so good. And if you caught I put up a tip. Sometimes I do quick tip videos. If you caught that yesterday, I posted it. I made my own brown sugar. So this is my own homemade brown sugar for this recipe. Y'all, I love butterscotch, and I love anything kind of caramely tasting. And let me just tell y'all, I'm using whole milk today. A lot of times now, growing up, my mama made butterscotch pies. We always, and I still do a lot, but today I wanted to use, I had some milk that was going to go bad, so I need to just use it. But we always use canned milk, like canned cream. We always call it cream or evaporated milk. But evaporated milk really goes good in custard pies. So what you're going to do, you're going to stir this constantly and bring it up to a boil till it starts to thicken. So I'll be right back. All right, y'all. So my sugar and my milk and my flour is thickening up, and after it starts to come to a little boil, just stir it constantly for about a minute and turn the heat off. I just turned the heat off. Now I'm going to put a little bit of it here in my egg yolks to temper them a little bit, and then I'm going to add these egg yolks right into this mixture. And I get this little hand frother off of Amazon. I love it, y'all. It's a trick, as Mommy always say. It's a trick to have. Just a hand frother that you can get off of Amazon. And I love it. And it's powerful. This is a rechargeable one, so I really like it. So, got that done. Now I'm just going to pour my egg yolks mixture right into my pie filling. Now, I know a lot of people say you can do shortcuts, you can do this in the microwave. I'm not a fan of cooking in the microwave. So it's just how I am. I don't like cooking in the microwave. I only cook in the microwave when I have to. I usually use my microwave just for heating stuff up or melting something. Other than that, I don't like to cook in the microwave. So I'm gonna put this right back on the heat, and I'm gonna bring it right back up to a boil. This is about a medium heat, just for a few minutes. When it comes right back up to a boil, I'm only gonna let it cook for about 2 minutes and take it right back off. Oh, and another thing I wanted to say, a lot of people use cornstarch for custard pies. I don't prefer cornstarch. I like flour because I think cornstarch makes something more like kind of jelly-like. I don't really like the texture of cornstarch in my pies. I'd rather use flour. That's the way Mama always done it, and I prefer it. I think they just have a better texture. I don't like that jelly-like consistency that I think cornstarch brings. So I prefer flour. So, all right, so we'll come back in just a second. All right, y'all, it looks so good. It smells good too. Yum. All right, so take it off the heat. I boiled that again for about 2 minutes, and it's done. So now you're going to put in 2 tablespoons of softened butter. I'm using unsalted, but you can use salted if you want. And I'm going to use maple flavoring and vanilla. So I like the flavor that the maple puts in here because it's a butterscotch pie. I like just that, it just gives it that little extra maple, like butterscotch flavor, I think. So I did about a half a teaspoon of maple flavoring, and I'm gonna do about a teaspoon of vanilla. So you're gonna stir this till your butter's melted, and you're gonna pour it right away into your pre-baked pie shell, and you're gonna bake this at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. Now, if you're going to let it, if you want to use this as pudding, make your own homemade butterscotch pudding, you got to let it cool off. Always let it cool off for about an hour, then put you a piece of plastic wrap, put it in a bowl, put your piece of plastic wrap on top of it, settle it on the top. It prevents the skin from forming. Anytime you make a homemade custard, especially one with flour in it, if you let it set, as it sits, it's going to get a skin on top. And you got to make sure to prevent that if you're going to use this for a pudding or if you're going to use it later. Make sure you put you some saran wrap, plastic wrap on top, and lay it on the top, and it prevents the skin. All right, so we're going to pour it in our pie. Y'all, I tasted it. It's so good. I love butterscotch. I love butterscotch flavoring of anything. We'll pour this right in. And now my pie, it don't matter to me if the shell ain't all the way up to the edge. I don't care. I'm gonna scrape the rest of that out. I just have to do it off of the camera. But I just settle it right in. I don't care if shell's not all the way up, but I'm gonna settle it, and I'm gonna put the rest of it in the pie. Then I'm gonna stick it in the oven for 15 minutes at 350 degrees. All right, y'all, my pie is done. I'm gonna let it chill for at least about an hour. Oh, not chill, I'm gonna let it cool off for about an hour, and then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and chill it for a few hours before I put my whipped topping on. I just want to say that the recipe says bake it for 15 minutes. Now, ovens vary. My oven is old, so to me, I baked mine a little longer. I baked mine actually about 30 minutes. So, you know, go whatever you think. If you think it needs baked a little longer, then go right ahead. But I did bake mine about 30 minutes. I just wanted to let you know that. But my oven is old. So it looks good, and it's still a little jiggly in the middle, which is all right. That's what you want. It's going to set up. So I'm going to let it cool off for about an hour, and then I'm going to chill it for at least 3 hours before I put my whipped topping on. All right, y'all, I'm gonna make my whipped cream for my butterscotch cream pie. And I'm gonna put heavy whipping cream in here. I'm gonna do probably about 1.5 cups, no more than 2 cups. A little bit of sugar, and I'm doing probably a couple teaspoons. You can use more sugar if you want it more sweet, or you can leave it out. I don't mind whipped cream not having no sugar in it, so I just think it's good like it is. I want to do just a little bit of vanilla extract, just a little, and you want to do a whisk attachment on your mixer, and just want to whip that till it's about medium peak, almost 15. And that's going to take a couple minutes. All right, y'all, it's finally time to finish this butterscotch pie. Now look at that. Can't wait to tear into that. Look how good it looks. It's set up so good. It chilled about 3-4 hours. So now it's ready to get the whipped topping on it. I made whipped cream, and yes, going to just pile it right on. If you want a lot of whipped cream, you can put more, but really this is about the right amount you'd need. Or you can use Cool Whip, a tub of Cool Whip. I do, if y'all have heard me say it before, if you're going to use Cool Whip, I like the kind in the red container. It's made with real cream because Cool Whip itself doesn't have any dairy in it. And if I'm going to have whipped cream or whipped topping, I want mine with dairy in it. So just so you know that. So you just want to, I'm just going to spread it out all the way to the edges. Now you could do this pie if you wanted. You could do it with a graham cracker crust. You could do it with some people may like it with like a nut crust, like a pecan nut crust. If you don't want to do just a traditional crust. So I just do some pretty swoops and swirls, and make it all pretty like. And you could top it with some butterscotch chips if you wanted. Some caramel topping would be good if you wanted to use that. And that's about it. All pretty. Look at that, y'all. Can't wait to tear into this beautiful pie. It's gonna be so good. So I'm gonna stick it in the refrigerator just a few more minutes before we tear into it. But y'all, I can't wait. All right, y'all, look at that butterscotch pie. And this little lady,
I already ate a
she's
whole
already
piece.
ate a piece.
It's
But
so
we
good.
have a story. Tell 'em.
I absolutely loathed butterscotch before I tried. Like, I'm not even being dramatic. I really did hate it. And even when I took a bite, I was like, I'm probably not gonna like this, Mom. But it is so good. I am converted.
Yeah,
It's really good.
I converted her, y'all, converted her to liking homemade butterscotch pie.
Oh, good.
Yeah, see the filling in it, the creamy filling. Mmm. Yep. All right. So
You have to. Even Dad likes it, and he doesn't like butterscotch either.
yeah, he never was a butterscotch. I love butterscotch, but this a homemade butterscotch. My mom's mother used to make this. My mom's sister Betty used to make this. And Mommy always talked about Betty's butterscotch pie. So I'm gonna be taking some of this to Mommy, and Kenzie approves.
It is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
So good.
So I hope y'all make this. I will be putting the recipe in the comments. And it's much better with the whipped cream topping, I think.
Yeah,
we're
the
not
whipped cream
meringue
sets it off.
fans. Yeah.
No, I
If you
don't
want
like
to do meringue, you could, but I'll tell you it's good like that.
Is it homemade? Whipped
Yeah,
cream?
homemade whipped cream.
Yeah, it tastes homemade.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching Mountain Cooking with Missy, where it's nothing fancy.
Just good eating.
Just good eating. Bye, guys.